Hello, 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 hello. How are you all doing today? What's going on, people? I'm Priscilla with Priscilla's Greenhouse. It's good to see you all today. My growing zone is Zone 7B, and I'm coming at you straight out of Arkansas today. I want you to smash that subscribe button and that like button because once you subscribe to this station or this channel, when I go live, you will receive a notification. How are you all doing today? And where are my favorite advancing yourself people? You all know how we do this thing. We do take it from level to level to level to level. Good to see you all this morning. I have got so much stuff to do today. Have you ever just, let me sit down for a minute because the majority of this here video is going to be me standing up on my feet showing you all some things because the way my setup is, sometimes when I'm standing up my head get cut off. As you all know, my head get cut off sometime on the camera, and regardless of how I put the laptop, because it's a laptop that I record from, right now I'm not eligible to record from a mobile phone, but I'm still glad that I'm able to go live and show you all some of the vegetable seeds that I will be planting today on my live stream. I'm gonna try some spinach seeds today and probably some lettuce, okay, because I have a setup here that I'm telling you all, this is my first time growing plants inside of my home. And these plants, let me show you some of these plants. It's time for them to go outside into the greenhouse. And that's going to be another situation that I'll be dealing with because, here we go again. The temperatures are still dropping down in the 20s here in Arkansas. A matter of fact, it's probably going to drop down tonight to 20-something here in Arkansas. I do have heat in the greenhouse, and that's just something that is going to be kind of touchy-feely for me because here we go. I've planted these garden beans, and they're looking really beautiful. And it's time for the garden beans to go outside in the greenhouse because they're taking up a lot of space here inside the house. They're really taking up a lot of space, people. And once it gets to that point where they're taking up a lot of space and I don't have anywhere else to put the seeds that I'm getting ready to grow and to germinate. So, there's a section over here where the zucchini, not the zucchini, the straight neck squash plants. Oops, there's water dripping off of them because that's where I got it. Straight neck squash plants. I just said it well. That's the straight neck squash plants. That's the size. They've grown very large right now. And I have them sitting in a tray. And I just want you to see it. They're looking really beautiful. The root systems, I can see them through the cup. And they're looking really beautiful. If you can see, this is the straight neck squash plant right here. And I have got to put it in the greenhouse. It's time for it to go in the greenhouse. And these are the garden beans. The garden beans are looking really nice. That's the garden beans. There's 2 plants in here. It's time for them to move out of here because I don't have any room left. And they're spreading all over the place, which I'm not complaining. That's what I want them to do, and they're really looking good. The plants are really looking nice and healthy, thick stems, nice and green leaves. For me to be, I'm doing it for the first time. And it's time for the plants to move. The corn plants, let me show you. Got everything growing in here. I'm telling you, cucumber plants. The cucumber plants are looking really nice. That's my cucumber plant. And I have several cucumber plants around that has to go outside. It's time for them to go outside in the greenhouse, and that's another level of, I guess, growing your vegetables, to have your own vegetables to eat. And we have to be able to take care of these plants in a greenhouse setting also. Once I move the plants out of this environment here, where they've been growing now since February the 4th, they've been growing inside of the house now for February the 4th, under grow lights, and this little setup I have here, it has a heat mat in here, a heating pad, or whatever you want to call it, and grow lights, and it stays almost close to 80 up to 90 degrees inside. And I have some seeds and plants that I've started for some of my neighbors here in the area where I live, and they're doing just wonderful. Cucumber plants, beans, jalapeno peppers, bell peppers. The bell peppers taking a while to come through, and what else? Tomato plant, corn plant, carrots, taking a while to come through. But this is the little thing I call my incubator for my plants to start germinating the seeds, and they start out in here, and once they start to grow and they get about 2 inches tall, I take them out and I put them down here in the bottom shelving, which this is going to cause me to be really doing a lot of moving around of the plants. Moving the plants around from one location to the next. Now this section here, let me show you something. What I have to do today, because I'm looking at these cucumber plants. I'm looking at my cucumber plants, and they're nice, and they're about 1.5 inches tall right now. And before very long, I'm going to have to put them out in the greenhouse. And that's going to be a lot of plants I'm taking a chance on. And hoping that this weather come on and do what it should do, because I got to do a lot of moving and transferring. Let me show you something here. And it's really, really time for me to move them. They're looking really good, and I can see some root systems coming through the bottom. I'm really glad I started to do this. Let me just get up. It's a lot of moving you have to do around here. Okay, the collards, the broccoli, and the peas. I started these plants on February the 4th. I just want you to look at how healthy they're looking inside of a heated homemade grow light setup that I've never done before. Okay, I've never done this before, but this is what you see: peas, broccoli, and collards. Peas, broccoli in the middle, and collards. And they are looking really nice. I love the way these plants are smelling. But it's time for me to, that's 1, 2, 3, that's 4 collard plants. 1, 2, 3, 4 broccoli, and 1, 2 pea plants. Okay, I'm thinking I had 2 seeds to a cell, but if the peas were really big, I probably only put 1 seed per cell. All right, now I'm going to leave these right here because there's going to be some operation taking place on them today. They have to come out and go into larger containers, along with, I'm telling you, growing these plants inside your home. It can get out of hand. This is a small setup I have back here, people, and I'm growing over, oh my, I know I have over 100 some plants, okay? Corn, straight neck squash, cucumber, tomatoes. Let me show you the little tomato plants. These are the root-girth tomato plants. And here we go. They're standing about 2 inches. right here. That's the Rutgers, what do you want to call it, tomato plants. And that's what I'm concerned about, my tomato plants, right? Most likely the tomato plants are going to be the last plants that I'm going to put out in the greenhouse because of their sensitivity to freezing temperatures. The bean plants, the peas, the lettuce, broccoli, collards, what else? They're cold weather plants, and I believe they'll be able to survive in a greenhouse with some heat in it also, even if there's no heat. If you do some research on YouTube, you know you can grow these types of vegetable collards, broccoli, peas, and lettuce in low tunnels. You can grow them in low tunnels, and these low tunnels do not have heat in them. So even with that said, I do believe that people do put like protection over these plants to protect them when they know the temperature is going to be in the 20s and it's going to be freezing. Just some added layer of protection with a protected type of cloth for the plants. But I can have rattlesnake watermelons that's growing also. Let me show you. Well, hold on. Because I watered them. And there's water in the tray, so I'm going to have something to keep water from dripping. And I'm going to use this. So, it's my rattlesnake. I just noticed the tip of this thing is chipped and broken, and I purchased them. I'm just noticing they're broken in. But I'll let them slide this time. I'm using them. I don't have time to turn them back in. Look at the rattlesnake watermelons. I just want to show you. There's rattlesnake watermelons right here. And I showed you the collards. And I have a grow tray that I just watered also. I tell you, me and my watering system, I'm telling you, it's going to get me in trouble if I'm not careful. I have to move real fast. All right. This is what I want to show you. There's a lot of corn plants growing. Corn. Just a minute. Corn. Hold up. I just want to show you some of the plants here. And that this step that I'm getting ready to do right now is going to be time consuming. This video may be a little long today. And I'm ready. Have to be ready for it, prepared for it and everything. No, this is the room that stays hot. And it's good for the plants. And these, the temperature of the room with a grow mat, heat mat, and lights in this room, it's a perfect environment to grow the plants in. But I'm at a stage where I have to get these plants now outside. This was what I'm looking at. You're looking at corn plants that's very tall. A corn plant that's really tall. And I don't want to put it close to the computer because there was some water dripping from some of the plant. This is the corn plant. And it's tall. It's time to go out in the greenhouse. And I have several corn plants, all right? And rattlesnake watermelon. This is rattlesnake watermelon plants right here. I have several rattlesnake watermelon plants. That's rattlesnake watermelon. I'm just showing you all these things because I want you to see that it's time for something else to happen. It's time for something else to happen. And I was showing you all the zinnia plants. You look how these zinnia plants are breaking out in the leaves. The true leaves that came up and the other true leaves coming on. And they're looking really good. And that's the zinnia plants. And all three of them surviving real good. It's time for them to go out in the greenhouse. And that's what my next step is. And it's a kind of nervous step for me because I put a lot of work into getting these plants to this level. And even what I'm looking at right now in this tray right here. In this tray right here. And it's just dripping water, so I'm not going to put it close. I'm just going to lean it to the side and let you all see. There's the cantaloupe plant is growing. The honeydew melon, I have 2. And the black magic sunflowers. Oh, they're big and beautiful. And also the Congo watermelon plants are so nice and tall and thick stemmed that it's time for them to do something else. The marigolds have not broken through. Yes, I see a couple of marigold plants. 2 marigold plants. Okay, but I have to tilt it to the side because there is water in here. And I just want to lean it to the side. Hold on. Just a second. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for subscribing and watching this video. But these are the plants here. You see the water just dripping? I mean, it's loaded. I'm not going to put it back in the water. I'm going to let it sit somewhere and drain. Probably put too much water in it because I watered them from the bottom. I'm just going to let it sit right in this here container here and drain. All right. And I told you all about these plants. It's time for these plants to be transplanted out of here into the container that they're going to be growing in for a while. I need to be really strategic right now on how I'm going to transplant them. As you see with your own eyes, the Congo watermelon plants, my goodness, these things are almost 4 inches tall. 5 or 6 inches tall, really. And when I get ready to transplant these things, now, I just can't transplant them just in a small container because they already probably have root systems that's under here, and I got to dig it out of this container. Have to dig these plants out of here, and those root systems could be going any kind of way now. So I think this pot is going to be too small. I just think this little pot here is going to be too small. I think it may be like a 3-inch pot, maybe 4 inch, not for sure. I got them from Dollar Tree. But now this is a 4.5 pot here. And I'm going to transplant them into this pot this size right here. What is going to have to happen, and this is something I'm experimenting with, once I put these plants in this size container, that's it. I'm not transplanting anything else. Whatever happened with the root system, with me watering it and taking care of it, I don't care if it's this tall. That's the root system I'm going to deal with in April when it's time to put it in the ground. Now, I may transplant some of these plants into a 1-gallon pot, but once I put them in a 1-gallon pot, they're probably going to just grow in that 1-gallon pot forever. I may not ever take them out and just do an experiment to see, will they produce watermelons, or will they flower, or what's going to happen. And I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. I've done it before. But this is just an experience right here that I'll tell you about. It has been really wonderful. It's been really wonderful, and I have no complaints. This grow light setup has done what I was expecting it to do. And I don't even have the expensive bulbs that everybody was advertising on YouTube. I have Walmart bulbs, and the lumens and the kelvins is what I was really looking at, and some of them do not meet that, 2,500 to 3,000 kelvins and lumens or what have you. But I just purchased what I could afford, and still, I'm telling you, you see it yourself, that it's doing what it should do. The lights has done exactly what they're supposed to do, and I have a heat mat in here, and I got aluminum foil. I think the aluminum foil helps out a whole lot, people, with a tiny setup like this. This setup is not large at all, and it's just what you have to work with. That's why I tell you all, viewers, don't refuse to do something just because you don't have a whole bunch of money to work with. You start off exactly the way you see me starting here. And this setup, there's 2 lights in this here top shelf. This here second middle shelf has 1 light. And there's a 3rd shelf down here that I just have seeds and things on. I don't have anything sitting on that 3rd shelf. In all actuality, I could put plants on this bottom shelf, and I can get a lamp, and I could order another bulb like this, but the lamp needs to have a crook neck, and I have a lamp over here that I picked up at an estate sale over the weekend. And it has a neck that curls over, but it's a stationary lamp, and the neck curls over exactly the way I want it. But it's perfect to set over this shelf right here. It's perfect to set over this shelf over here to the right that stands about, it's probably about close to about 4 feet, maybe 3 feet or more tall. And that lamp that I purchased at the estate sale, it has a crook over, and I can screw a bulb here, and it's perfect. It's perfect. So you can go to yard sales and estate sales people in your area, and you know what you need, and you know what you're looking for. Go to some estate sales. If you want to do this, go to some estate sales and go to Goodwills and Salvation Armies in your area and look around for things that you need to get started in planting seeds inside of your home. And that's how you have to get started. Because if you never ever start, guess what? You'll never start. You'll never start. Let me get rolling. Because you know what? There's a lot, and it's raining here in Arkansas. It's been raining hard all day. And I'm looking at, you know, I don't know what to say because the temperature is going to be in the 20s tonight. And I'm doing an experiment. There's heat in the greenhouse. It's a small oil heater. It's not anything big and extravagant, nothing of the sort. It's what I can afford. And it's an electric oil heater, but it's a powerful heater. And I love this electrical oil heater. Throws out a lot of heat. And my greenhouse is a double layer greenhouse because last year a hole came in the top of it. And I said, I'm not going to take all this plastic down this time. So I came over it last year with new plastic with a little split in it. And I take the split up on the inside of the greenhouse so it can, it can really hold more heat now. Okay? I'm experimenting all the time with the greenhouse, with seeds and everything. But I have live bean plants out there now. I put a corn plant out there. A cucumber plant is out there, and I have to see what that greenhouse is going to do. I may lose those plants or I may not lose those plants. Follow me. I'm still going to put another added layer of protection over them. Okay? I have to always keep in mind, what if that oil heater goes out? I have a charcoal grill that I could put in there. I start the charcoal up and let the charcoal get hot and turn white, and I close the top down on it. It's a new grill, okay? Understand, it's a new charcoal grill. And I'll close the top down on it, and I'll open the little ventilator, the vents on it just a little so it can breathe and keep those charcoals hot. And usually they still be warm with the charcoal's been burnt all the way down the next morning, just to keep that greenhouse above freezing all night long, along with my oil heater. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. So tonight I will be starting up that grill, Because I do believe it's going to get down in the 20s tonight. And I think for like the rest of the week, we're going to be dealing with real cold, freezing temperatures at night. And anyone that's trying to grow plants in a low tunnel or a greenhouse that's heated, that's some of our concerns, right? What if the electricity goes out? We have to always have a backup plan. And my backup plan is a grill. A grill and throw blankets, a cardboard, anything you can use to put over your plants if you can't bring them back inside. I can bring them back inside, but my goodness, woo! That's a lot of plants to be bringing inside once you set them up outside in the greenhouse. But you don't want to lose those plants, do you? So you do everything you can do in your power like they're little babies out there. You get some bubble wrap. I got a whole roll of bubble wrap. And if push come to shove, just put bubble wrap around them. Just put bubble wrap around them and keep the plastic from touching the leaves. And just do something with a sheet first. An old sheet or a blanket. You make a little TP. Make a little TP for them to keep their coldness from penetrating in on the plants. It's already in a double layer greenhouse. Hear me what I'm saying. Follow what I'm saying. It's in a double layer 10 by 12. Is it a 12 by 10? I built that little greenhouse. And it's a double layer with 5 mil plastic. It's not real thin, but even then, with plants growing inside of the greenhouse, with temperatures freezing, I have an oil heater in there. And I have a little section where I came around the table that the plants are going to be sitting on with another layer of plastic to hold heat in. And I have a composting setup underneath the table with holes drilled in the table for heat to come up through there from composting vegetation. There's a composting process that goes on. And I keep it kind of damp. And it gives off heat. It's composted. And I'll turn it this evening. I'll turn it and I'll turn it. And I'll turn it again and I'll damp it down just a little bit. So that breakdown process can still be going on when the temperatures are freezing outside. They'll be throwing some heat off for my seedlings. So they can grow. And it's too close, people. We made it too far in the season to let our plants die. You hear me what I'm saying to you? You come this far, and you got about 15 plants. You do what you got to do to keep them plants alive. If you have to bring them back in your house, bring them back in the house. It's work, yeah. Bring them back in the house and let them sit there through that cold storm that's coming through. And then the next day you'll look at them, they're still alive. And you say, well, at least they're alive. But I am experimenting with their greenhouse. But what I think I'm going to do tonight, I'm just going to have to rearrange some things in here. I see an area right there that I can put some plants. And I'll put some of my plants over there. And what I'm getting ready to do right now. So let's get rolling, people. I got to get rolling now. I can't do too much talking. I got to show you all what I'm getting ready to do. All right, here we go. Now, these pots here already been sanitized and wiped out with a bleach solution of water and bleach. Now, where's my gloves? I always keep some new gloves around. Just a minute. Let me step off to the side and grab me some gloves, people. We finna get rolling. I got to get rolling because you know what? This could take a while. This could take a while today. It really can. Let's do this. Come on now. Come on. Subscribe to the station, you all. Subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, you know. I'm the new girl on the block. You know, I don't have a whole bunch of views or anything like that. But I do what I do. You got to start somewhere in this life. You have to start somewhere. And a lot of times, people will not get started because you know why? They're looking at everybody that got these 1,000, 1 million views and 10,000 views and 1,000 views, and they're just looking at that and they're like, wow, I'm just getting started. Well, I don't want to do it because I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. Well, whatever. That's you. It's not me. Because here I am, and if we stay in the game long enough, and you don't give up and you don't give in, you'll be up there too one day. I don't know how long it'll take, but you can't be giving up. All right, here we go. I have a bag of, it's a half a bag, but it's potting soil, okay? It's potting mix. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this container here, I'm going to put it down here. I can't lift this bag up. It's too, well, I can lift it, but it may make a bad mess and have stuff all over the place. I don't want to do that. My husband be fussing with me for sure. Yeah, he come on fussing then. I can't mess up everything in the house just because I'm farming on the inside of the house. Amen. I don't care. Still doing it. So I'm getting some potting mix. I'm going to mix this potting mix. It's different from what I got from the Dollar Tree, because I noticed the Dollar Tree got a lot of sticks in it. From the Dollar Tree that I purchased my potting soil from, it has some sticks in the mixture. So don't really get too bent out of shape about that, because the thing about it, it's already some potting mix. But you know something? I may mix it with some of that, because this is real grainy like. This is kind of like grainy like. I don't see peat moss really in here. I have a whole thing of peat moss outside, and that may be what I'm going to have to do. I'm probably going to have to go and get peat moss, because this is the Dollar Tree potting mix. It has some peat moss in it, but it's a lot of sticks in here. Well, I found a lot of sticks in this here potting mix, little small sticks. It still can be used, people. Don't get me wrong. I've been using it, but give me a moment. I may be away from this camera for about 3-4 minutes. I'll be back. I need peat moss. I don't want to just throw this together. I need something to hold moisture in these plants. And I don't want my water just running through. And I have perlite. Put perlite off in there. Got perlite. Just bear with me, okay? Just bear with me, because I want to do it right. I don't want to just throw it together. I'll be back. I'm going to get some peat moss, and I need it. I need it right now. Get my glove. I'll be back. Sometimes you have to just leave your camera sometimes to set up and let your viewers know that you went out to do whatever you have to do. So I got me some peat moss. All right. How you all doing today? Peat moss is a little dusty, y'all. I had my face mask back here also, because the perlite and the peat moss is kind of dusty. Excuse me a moment again. I know sometimes you're supposed to have everything set up, but guess what? I don't have it set up all the time. I'm back. What I want to do, I want to pour some of this peat moss off in here. Not all of it. Put some water in here. And we're going to mix it in. Just mix it in real good. Think what I'm going to do? I can mix it better like this. With my gloves on. That way the peat moss will be mixed in really good with the perlite. And any of the other, yeah, I need to put some of my compost in here also. Let me do that. It's going to be some really good potting mix right here. I'm going to put some of my compost in here. I make my own compost, okay? Most of that is almost gone. One moment, please. And I do see sticks, some sticks in my compost also. What I have to do? I was breaking down twigs and all kind of things. What you have to do, you have to just be willing to pick out the little sticks and things. I got a couple of some leaves off in here, but I'm getting ready to mix it all in because that's exactly what has to happen. Get that out of there. Because I have a lot of things to pot up. So, just mix it all in. Distribute it evenly. This way you can find out if you have any rocks, things that need to be removed, twigs. Have better control of getting it all out. And now, you get to the part where you can actually start putting some soil into the cups and getting these plants transplanted. There's a lot of them that has to be transplanted. So this is what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to fill these cups up. Because I'm going to set these root systems down in these cups. I'm going to fill it up halfway with soil. I know what has to go off in here. Probably some nice sized roots going to have to go off in these pots, right? So I put like a handful in and a half. Pat it down, because I know some big plants are going to go off in here. And I want them to be introduced to some nice mixture with compost in it. So they can have some nutrition now because of the true leaves being on these plants already. They already have their true leaves on here, okay? So we need some type of nourishment and fertilizer, whatever you want to call it. But my compost will do the job. The compost will definitely do the job for these plants that I'm getting ready to put in here, in these containers. They're getting too big for these containers that I started them off in. And I'm looking at how tall they are, so they got to sit down kind of deep. So I just need just a little soil on the bottom, not a whole bunch for right now. I just want enough so the root system can spread, you know, and give them a chance to get a good, healthy start. That's what I'm trying to do. So, right now, and I know my collards, the broccoli look kind of close like the collard. So what I'm going to have to do for now, take my gloves off and get my markers out, get my plant labels out. This is where you don't want to be making any mistakes. I'm just going to get a handful of labels here. I'm going to have a seat. I'm going to look at what I'm working with so I can mark it correctly what I'm getting ready to transplant. And I'm going to start with these plants right here first, the collards, the broccoli, and the peas. And I know I have 4 collard plants. So right now, this is a lot of labeling, but I have to put them in a container so I can recognize that these plants are collards. You have to have a system of your own. Because if you don't know what these plants are, you just got to get busy making labels, and you can't get afraid of writing out a lot of labels. So let me get busy. And they've been growing ever since the 4th of February. So that's one. That's how you have to do it. You can't let it stop you. You got to do it, collards. It's not taking that long, but you're going to have to write 1, 2, it's 4 of them has to be transplanted out of there. They can't stay in there forever. Right? And now I'm looking at broccoli plants, four broccoli. So same thing for the broccoli. Make the labels. It's broccoli. Some people probably have their labels already made up before they start the video, but I don't have time to do it like that. I'm just doing everything as I go. Because this is the true thing that I'm doing here. It's not like I'm just playing around with it. One pea plant is really looking really small. And I'm going to leave that pea plant in this container. And I'm just going to put peas. All right. That's that. Now here we go. Come on. Here we go. Come on. I can move this out the way now. It want to catch up. It want to catch up a hold to my earring. It's always something, you know. And the way these little earrings are made, they perfect to catch something up, I tell you. Perfect, perfect, perfect. To get something hung up on them, but that's fine. It's not going to stop me. All right, let's do it. All right, here we go. I have got to I believe these root systems are really down in here, people. That's all I'm saying. And I'm going to get my shovel because, well, not this. I don't know why I'm looking at this here. This is what I want to, these are the ones right here. And I'm just going to start with the collards. Just going to mash them a little bit at the bottom. Okay, mash them. And turn them over. Okay, that's one set. I'm just going to set it right here. And I want to get the other one out of here too. And I'm going to use one label. I'm just going to stick it there for now. And I'm mash it all the way around. Collards. Okay, and just set that down like this here. And separate the root system on the collards. It shouldn't be too hard. They got to be separated. Just got to take it really easy though. Sometimes it can be a tangled up type of situation. All right, that's a collard. I'll put it here. And I'll put another one right here. And I'm just going to put some soil around it. Put it right in the middle. Drop some soil on that side and put some on this side. And it's not that complicated. Just the collard and tap it. Press it down just a little bit. I don't want to press it too hard. Okay, that's collard. Only thing I have to do is get one of my labels, stick it right down in here, and you know, I got a plant in here now. And I have one area that I'm going to start putting these collard plants. And there's already water in there so they can start watering from the bottom. I may spray them a little bit, but let's move right on. We're keeping it moving because the roots are exposed now. They're kind of like outside, and I just want to get them in some soil. That's my main objective now, is to get them planted, okay? That's my main objective, just to get them in the soil now and press down and keep it moving. Keep it moving. It's not that complicated. We don't have to make it complicated either. And I definitely will not make it complicated. Get it all situated, make sure there's no air pockets in there, and put this one over to the side. That's a collard plant. I'll get my marker, stick it in there. There's another collard plant, planted already, ready to go. There's 2 more. It needs to be, separated. I picked it up and it just fell apart. So here we go. That's fine. It's already separated. I need to get some soil out of there though. There's too much soil in this container. Okay. All right. Same thing here. Tap, tap, tap. I always say tap, tap, tap. The only thing I'm doing is pressing this soil down a little bit. So Carla, stick that label in there. Stand up. And I probably most likely will spray it with some water and water it once I get through. But that's the collards right there. Here's one more collard plant. Amen. Let's do this. Collard. Right? Finish with the collards. You're ready. Now, what I want to do is take out the broccoli and do the same thing with broccoli. I have the name labels over here, so let's move right along. Squeeze the container at the bottom, taking out the broccoli plants now. It's time for them to be transplanted into a larger container because they're getting real long, and I don't think it's leggy. They look really nice to me, but at the same time, let's just turn it over. Make sure you're pressing the right cell out. Sometimes you're pressing the wrong one. And yeah. I don't want to come out. And these came out on their own already, so broccoli is out. So shouldn't be too hard to separate them. They seem like they're trying to come apart already, so easily just pull it loose right here without destroying it too bad, and put some soil around the broccoli plant. And that's it. Broccoli. Got a date on there, and I know it's broccoli. Just keep on moving. Alright. Slide this over. That's why I say some of these things are headed straight out into the greenhouse. They have to go. Maybe I'll just make a section right over there to let them sit. And they will have to fight for their life. What I mean about that, they're just going to have the natural light of this room. Okay? They're going to have natural light of this room with me trying to keep them out of the freezing temperature, because most likely the sun may not even come out anyway in the daytime. But if the sun comes out, I'm going to take them outside into the greenhouse. But the only thing about that, once you take them out, you be bringing them in and taking them out and bringing them in and taking them out. So I might as well set up a little area where a light is located in the daytime and just lay them plants out that's about this tall and forget about them. But you know, not really forget about them. You know what I'm saying? Because the next ones, this side, are the ones that I'm really working with, and I've got to try to take care of them. Okay, here we go. Broccoli plant. Put some soil around it. Pot and mix. This pot and mix is ready. Give them some nutrients that they're going to need because they're growing now with their true leaves. So I have compost in here. just a little bit to get them established better. So that's broccoli. That's another broccoli plant that's planted. Now, you don't have to wait all day long to try to plant a plant. You just go on and move along with it and put it on in the ground and move on to the next thing that you got to do. You don't have all day to be playing with the plant. You know, you're not going to kill it. It's kind of tough anyway. Just put it in the soil and get the air pockets out and water it and let it root up. It has to do the rest on its own. You can't be babysitting it every day. It's broccoli. It's another broccoli plant. Ready to start a new life. And there's another one. I think there's another. Yeah, here's another broccoli. Is that broccoli? Broccoli kind of favor collard. I think they're in the same family, right? The brassica family, brassica, whatever you call it. But anyway, I'm moving right along with this stuff. Get the air pockets out, press it down a little bit. Trying to keep it in the center, but sometimes these plants want to do their own thing. I don't have all day to be messing around with them. Let them do what they gotta do. Okay. Broccoli, broccoli, broccoli. So that means I need to move this corn out of here, because the corn got to go outside. It's been growing. I had a chance to grow. And I'm going to set it right over here because it's getting ready to go outside. And I'm looking at some okra plant. There's two little okra plants here. And they was getting ready to die, but they came back pretty strong. And they're living pretty good. So I'm just going to set them right here out of the water, because they've been sucking up a lot of water. They don't need any more water, to be honest with you. And I have some peppers. Wow, it's a lot of plants surprising me. All right, let me put the peas. Did I make containers? Yeah, there's one pea plant that need to come out of there. It's ready to go into a container. So what I'll do, I'm going to mix this up some more. My soil, people. Mix my soil up some more. Give a mixture of everything from the bottom to the top. I need everything to get mixed in real good. The nutrients on the bottom can help out a lot too. Settle down on the bottom. Amen. So, throw that in there. Tap, tap, tap. Now, this is the pea plant. Take it out and have one label ready for it, because the other one is really still small. So this is one plant. Look at the root system. Look there. This is a pea plant. Just look at the roots. I don't want to drop nothing on my computer. Here you go. The root system. I'm just going to drop it off in there just like this. You may touch it a little bit and mash it up around and loosen it up a little bit and put it right off in there. Because that baby is ready. This plant, it is ready to jump. Do you hear me? It's ready to go and do what it's going to do. I can tell just by the way it's looking. It's ready. It's ready to grow is what I'm talking about. And that's what's up. It's ready to grow. And I'm glad. And I put that soil in there around it just like that. Get the air pockets out of it and let it go and do what it gotta do. Pull these off for a sec. There's some water here. Give it a little water. Could pour some, but I got it set up where I wanted to really pour from the bottom. That's the setup. That's what I want to get used to doing. So the water can get pulled up from the bottom. Okay. And don't forget to mark it, the label. It's a pea plant. Right there. Now, so when it just happened, I transplanted 4 collard plants. 1, 2, 3, 4 collards. And broccoli. How many broccoli plants did I take up out of there? 4. 4 broccoli plants too. Let me see. 1. 2, 3. Where did I put my broccoli plants? 1, 2, 3. That's 4 collards. And the broccoli. Okay, the pea had 1 plant. And here's the rest of the broccoli. Okay, I'm looking for the broccoli plant. I'm looking all over for my broccoli. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 broccoli plants, 4 collard plants, and I transplanted 1 pea plant. And here's a small baby pea plant still in this container here. I'm going to leave it for now and probably put it in here somewhere. But that is full. I can't, there's no room in there. So I'll open this up and I'll put it down here. Give it some more light. Give it some more time to grow. Okay, that's that. But right now, I have some Congo watermelon plants. They're standing up so tall. And I'm going to have to put these plants in larger containers. I have got to do something with these Congo watermelon plants because it's not going to work right here. They are huge. This is what I'm talking about right here, Congo watermelon. Congo watermelon plants, looking like this. I don't know what I've done. I don't know if I started them too early. They're growing really nicely. So, this is the test that I'm going to have to go through with the Congo watermelon plants. And I'm getting ready to transplant them in here. Let me make some labels. And I need to order some more labels. I'm almost out. All right. Congo, Congo, Congo. Congo, baby. Let's get the Congo watermelon plants labeled. And they were started on, I have to turn this around now. They were started on February the 9th. Okay, they were started on February the 9th, so I'm going to put the same thing on here. Now I'm looking at 2, 4, it's probably about 8 Congo watermelon plants here. I know what Congo is, so I'm not going to write all that out. There's just too much writing for me. February the 9th, 2020. You have to know what you know now. If you don't know that you're writing Congo down and that it's a watermelon, you may need to put Congo and then WAT or something. Which is what I'm doing for training purposes. I'm going. I see the Congo watermelon looking really good, and I think that's a cantaloupe plant coming up real big. Congo watermelon. I got to get all those out of there. I got to really get them out of that container. I'm thinking about something here, y'all. Sometimes you have to experiment. I may. No. I'm going to put them in these containers right here. I'm going to go on and put them in the containers here. I see 5 containers, so how many labels I have over here. I'm going to stop right here because I only have 5 containers, and I'm going to plant as many Congo watermelon seedlings as I can, and probably start back tomorrow and show you all what else I'm going to do, because there's constantly seeds starting in here, growing big, have to be removed, and it's just like transferring from one part to the next, and it's an ongoing process, and it never stops. And the next thing will be I'll be transplanting them and loading them up in my vehicle, taking them over to my other greenhouse property where I'm actually going to be growing them in the ground. So, yes, this experiment has worked. The only thing I can say at this point is that what I had in my mind is working. And the proof is right here with what you see me doing. I'm putting things in bigger containers. That means these plants are growing. And you see the corn plant. You see that corn plant? That's corn that's sticking up in the camera. Corn plants. Corn. Garden beans. Straight neck squash, cucumber, lemon cucumber, broccoli, collards. And the process goes on and on and on. Every couple of days, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. I'm not going to regret it either. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Now, this is the part right here that gets a little tricky, if you ask me. Now, there are sunflower seeds growing here. And what I have to do, I have to put this shovel down in here, not to disturb my marigold seeds that have not started to, yeah, they have too, but they're mighty close to the big Congo. So what I'm going to have to do, I got to be kind of strategic. I don't know where the roots are going. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come real close to the sunflowers, and I'm going to go down in there like so. I'm going to try to move the soil so I can kind of see if I'm destroying a root system. And so far I don't see anything, so I'm going to do my cut. I'm going to do the cut now. And I'm going to see, can I go all the way down to the bottom and come up, and hope and pray that I'm not tearing the plant all to pieces and destroying the plant. And I'm coming on the other side now. And I'm going to move it a little bit and try to work my way down in here and see, can I get it up out of here without destroying my plants. So far, I think it's all right. Now, I'm going to grab about 4 of them. I'm going to go down there with the shovel. I'm going to come up and I'm trying to take them out now. Okay, there they are. Set them off in here. All right. Get a couple of cups. Put some soil off in them. Shake it down a little bit. Not very much, because guess what? They're already nice and tall. They're already nice and tall. They need to get down in some soil. So, time to break them apart. And I don't think it'll be that difficult. It's not. There's one right there. I'll set it off in here. They can break though. Have to be real careful what you're doing. That's another one. Set it off in there. You get another pot. Excuse me. Sticks in here. There's another one. Set it off in there. Get some more soil. Tap it down. They're falling apart pretty good. There's another one. Set it right off in there. Now, last pot, last Congo watermelon plant. And they smell like watermelons up in here, people. I'm serious. I'm telling you. It smells like watermelon. Tap that down some. I want no air pockets. I'm going to leave this one off in here. And I'm going to pot it on up. I'm going to pot it on up now. It's time to pot it up. Time to get it potted up. So it can start growing and doing its thing. Push it down a little bit. No air pockets. Don't do it too hard. Tap it. There's the Congo. There's one of the Congo watermelon plants. And I got my labels here. Stick it off in here. That's a Congo watermelon plant with a seed still stuck to the top. So I'm going to take this, and this is what I'm going to have to do, y'all. See, this stuff is taking over. These plants are taking over now. I'm going to have to do this. I keep pans like this around. Dollar Tree. They come in so handy. Keep them around because I need them right this second. And this is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to set this right here for now. I'm just doing it for now. Set that Congo right in there. And I'm going to get this, another one. I'm moving too fast, Priscilla. I'm going to set it right there and put some soil in there. Got to soil it up and get it right. Got to get it right. We got to grow now. Time for no games. That's another Congo. I'll wipe that off some other time. Got your name tag, put it on there, and keep it moving. That's another Congo plant. Put it there. And you keep the process rolling. And it's got its true leaves coming up the middle. It's ready to be transplanted out of that their starter pot. It's ready for the real deal. It needs some minerals and some vitamins, and I have compost in here. I ran across something that's a rock. Throw that away. I don't want it in the way for sure. It'll block everything. The plants are so amazing. They know how to get around rocks and stones, and sometimes they'll grow straight through wood. So that's another Congo. Stick it right there so I can know what I got. That's another Congo plant. Set it right in there. Here's another one. Woo! I mean, it got some true leaves on it. Big root system. I mean, it's ready to stretch out and grow. And I'm going to have to keep it in this here container for a minute. And I don't know what's going to happen with it, but if you have to transplant them into a larger container, don't fear doing it. You just got to keep you some good compost on hand and some good potting soil on hand at all times when you're getting ready to do this now. So this is another Congo. Okay, that's another Congo. Set it right off in there. And I think it'll hold exactly 5 containers. So thank you, Lord. Okay, this is the last Congo plant that I'm potting up. It's been real good getting this stuff done. You know what I'm saying? I had to do it anyway. It's something I know I had to do anyway, so might as well take you all on the journey. So got it potted up. Get the air pockets out. Congo. Stick that right there. 2, 4, 5 Congo watermelon plants. Ready to go in the ground to have some Congo watermelons for the summertime. And you know, it pays off. Hey, baby, it's going to pay off for sure. Yay, it's going to pay off for sure. It's going to pay off. So I have my 5 Congo watermelons transplanted, and there's 2 more here. And I'm going to leave it right there. And what I want to do, take some of this soil. Well, put something up against it to hold it in place. Still, I kind of disturbed the root system there. And my marigolds are still there. And I don't want to mess that up either. I am going to probably take these 2 Congo watermelon plants out tonight and transplant them. Because we're right here besides some marigolds plants. Marigold and what is this here? A honeydew melon looking really good. I'm going to let it grow a little while longer. And cantaloupe. I'm going to let it root up a little more. Okay? And then what I'll be doing is transplanting those also. But what I can do right now, or did I? Nope. I think I put something down there in the way, didn't I? I believe so. But that's okra. I believe these plants right here, they're at a level where I can just leave them right here under a light system. And that's what I'll do. I'm not going to try to put them back in there. It's time for them to start getting acclimated and harden off and everything else. So they have to get up out of the incubator. They got to get used to at least one step toward getting away from this thing here is to get acclimated to this house temperature. Get used to the fluctuation of when the heat system go off at nighttime. Okay? It get cool. And then it'll kick back on because I keep it right at 70. I don't want the house to be hot at night. And so these plants have to be acclimated. And that's a step from the incubator. I call this my incubator right here. Okay? Nice and warm to germinate the seeds. And they start growing and they jump up fast too sometimes. To move them out, give them some nourishment with some compost. Start watering them a little bit with some compost tea. Just a little bit. Don't want to burn the roots up on them. Because I'm telling you, listen, if these roots are not ready for some compost tea right now, I don't know what to say about them. They're ready for compost tea. What you think? These are garden beans, and it's 2 in each container. And they're going to stay in this container for a minute now. I don't have time for transplanting these things every time you look around. They're going to have to fight. They're going to really fight. They may have the wrap around and the root wrap and everything else. But that's what I'm going to have to experiment with. That's 2 plants in there, though. There's bean plant. So I may very well transplant them off into a 1 or 2 gallon plastic pot and leave them in there and put them right up against the trellis and let it be a done deal if I'm going to ever transplant them again. Because I'm going to transplant them in something that they can grow. And I think I'll be able to grow them inside of a plastic container. And I would leave it like that. You see what I'm saying? I won't make a big deal out of it. But we got a lot accomplished today. I accomplished a lot today. And I'm very proud of the fact that what I said over here was the rattlesnake watermelon. There's rattlesnakes right here. These rattlesnake watermelons that was planted on February the 9th also. And they're in their little small containers right now, and they're producing the true leaves. They can stay there. That's what they're going to be growing for a minute. In these containers. The Congo watermelon that I just transplanted today, they're going to have to grow for a long time in these containers right here. I'm not going to be transplanting them no time soon. And over here, the collards and the broccoli, they might as well get ready because they're going to be in these containers for a minute. And when I say for a minute, until I put them out in the greenhouse, that's what I'm thinking. But these straight necks, the straight neck squash plants, these plants are ready to go outside in the ground almost, people. Listen, where are my forever advance for yourself people? You all know how we do this thing. And we do take it from level to level to level to level. I want to thank you all for joining me. I want to thank you all for subscribing to my video and liking my video because it helps me to get out and let everybody know that I'm serious about what I'm doing. I'm not just doing this for fun and games. I'm serious about what I'm doing. And I want my neighbors to know that got me growing different plants for them. I want them to know that their plants are doing real good, and they'll be ready. They'll be ready for pickup. Probably at the beginning or at the ending of March probably, because some of you have told me that even if they're not ready to go in the ground, that you have a place in your garage with a light. That's the only thing these plants will need. That's the only thing they will need is some light and sunlight in the daytime. And I cut these lights off at night. I don't leave them on. This one is touching that plant. I don't leave them on all night long because the sun is going to go down. When the sun goes down, in my part of town. Lonesome feeling. Oh, broken down. Y'all know that song I'm talking about. anyway, they do that stuff on TikTok sometimes. But the natural sun is going to go down. So why keep the lights on all night? The plants have to get used to daylight and darkness. Daylight and darkness. Daylight and darkness. Right now it's daylight, and I'm giving them all the light that they possibly need, all the way up until 10 and midnight sometime. They have these lights on for like 16 hours. And I'll be glad to come here and turn my electricity off and see what they're going to do. Put them in the dark. Put them in the dark. And come in the next morning, they're still living and looking good. That's the way they do. It's going to be daylight in the daytime. And at nighttime, the sun is going to go down, and they have to get used to everything. So my next step, my neighbors, the ones that's paying for seedlings to be started, they're looking really good. Your fresh pepper seeds are looking good. Red, green, and yellow peppers, they're looking really good. They're coming up. Your carrot, your corn, your cucumbers coming up. RD, you know your name from this area, RD. Everything is looking good. Your tomatoes looking good. Okra and cabbage plants, they're all breaking through the soil, and they're just looking real good. They're looking really, really good. The okras and tomatoes, for another lady in the area, 2 ladies in the area, they're breaking through real good. You see, sometimes you don't know what's getting ready to happen in your life. Only thing you're trying to do, you're trying to be self-sufficient, and you're growing your own food. And then you got people that will start coming to you once they find out what you're doing. They say, well, can you start me this type of seed? Can you do this? Can you do that? And you either say yes or no. You know, that's your decision. You either say yay or nay. And I said yes to it. You know, I can get it started for them. And they're telling me that they want to have a little garden this year. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm thankful that I'm able to help them to go to that next level. Because we take it from level to level to level to level. That's how we do it in this season. But what I want you all to do as I wrap this video up, I'm talking about the whole world and anybody that ever looks at this video. We're getting ready. It's a crisis going on in this world right now as we speak with Russia and the Ukraine. I don't look at the news very often because the news can be very depressing to me and cause me to get anxious. And I kind of stay away from it. But right now, people, every day is a day of prayer without ceasing all over the land and all over the world. What is happening with Russia and Vladimir Putin and what they're doing to the Ukrainian people, that's not right. And you know, we have got to pray against what's happening, people. We got to do something because you remember the Holocaust, right? Or did you forget what Hitler did to the Jews? I want you to think about what I'm saying. History can repeat itself. And the only thing that I am aware of with Vladimir Putin is that he don't want Ukrainian government to become part of NATO, right? Is that what the problem is? Or is it that he just wants the land? Is that what it is? We'll never know. But listen, America and the surrounding countries all over the world, this move that he's doing is going to hurt you and your country and your population. Your citizens going to suffer because of what this here President Putin is doing. Gas prices are already going up sky high all over the land because of what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. We're going to feel the brunt of what this man is doing. His decision to do this is going to cause us to feel the problems in this world that's happening right now. Gas prices finna go sky high. People trying to warm their houses up still. Only thing I'm saying, I wish the President Putin would reconsider. I really wish he would reconsider, people. I wish he would really reconsider. And sometimes it's a power struggle to show power, to show that I'm more powerful than the whole world against you now. But no, the Word of God say that the Lord is the most powerful person or spirit, whatever you want to call it, and he will be ready to do battle also. He's the greater one. And no one may not believe it. But will you just pray a prayer for the children, the people that are afraid in the Ukraine and surrounding area, the children that didn't ask for this foolishness to be going on, and they hearing all these weapons of mass destruction blowing up around them, and they're young children. Would you want your children in America, in any other country, Germany, I'm talking about Australia, Canada, all over the UK, would you want your children to go through this? Would you want to have loved ones in a country that's war is getting ready, a brink of war? The brink of war is right there. They're on the brink of war, people. It's not a confusion. It's the brink of war. And why Putin is doing this, he needs to be stopped. This man needs to be stopped, people, whether you like it or not. He has to be stopped, or we all going to suffer because of what he's doing. Let me say it again. You're going to suffer because of what Vladimir Putin is doing. We're suffering right now because of what he's doing. And he does not care. If he cared, he would have backed off. So far, he has not backed off, world. He has not backed off, people. And some people may be like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, take over Ukraine. I'm not for the shedding of innocent blood. I'm not for seeing children laid out in the streets of Ukraine. And parents and moms and dad crying in a sea of nothing but sadness and atrocity taking place. I'm not for that. And anything, by any means necessary, that can stop him from moving forward with this here atrocity, I say do it. I say stop him by all means necessary, because that's not called for. That president is very powerful, and he knows he's a powerful man. And the only thing I can say is that I wish that Vladimir Putin would reconsider, world. I wish he would back off of these Ukrainian people and let them have their little country, the unsettled land that they're talking about. Let it be the way it is. It's been like that forever. Just leave it alone. But sometimes, you know, some people are not satisfied with peace and tranquility. We're already struggling and fighting with a disease called COVID-19. Isn't that bad enough, Putin? Don't you think the world have suffered enough? Why would you, a man of your status and of your power, move in on a country? And some of these people, like they living in little villages and stuff, like they struggling. Why would you do that to them, Vladimir? You're a powerful man. Why would you do this to the whole world and cause all this destruction and fighting and sanctions and anger? Why would you do it? It reminds me of Adolf Hitler. Don't you all ever forget that. And why am I forever advancing yourself, people? You all know how we do this thing. We do take it from level to level to level to level. Let's pray for peace, world. Let's pray for peace. Let's pray for peace, people. Let's pray for Vladimir Putin to stop. Let's try to stop him with nothing but prayer and fasting. Prayer and fasting. Let's stop him from doing this. Let's see if we stop him from doing it. Make him leave the Ukrainian people alone. Leave these people alone while they still living and breathing. Only God knows what's getting ready to happen. But it's going to affect you. It's affecting you and I right now. Peace, people. Love you. God bless you.